Good day, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Today we'll be discussing your Module 2 or Physical Fitness and Testing. So in this module, you'll have an introduction on the principles of physical fitness, physical activity, the design of a tailored workout system, and the improvement of your physical fitness and motor skills. It will also develop a proactive outlook towards well-being and physical activity that encourages students to live a healthy, active lifestyle. So what do we have in store? What are the things that we are expected to do after this module? You're expected to explain physical fitness, state the components of physical fitness, and perform the physical fitness test. So here are our guide questions that will help us and assist us all throughout the module. What is physical fitness and physical activity? What are the components of physical fitness? How can an individual be fit? What is the importance of fitness? So as you can see, there are three images in the slides. Yung isa, uh, the other one is having squat. The other one is sitting on the gym ball, and the other one is standing. As you can see, when we talk about physical fitness, it's not just a concern of the younger age, not concern of the teenagers, but it's a concern of all ages, from younger one or from teenager, from children to the adults. It's actually an encompassing principle that's needed to be it's an encompassing principle that everyone has to do. Fitness not only applies Fitness not only applies to being physically fit, but also to the mental condition of person. If a person is physically fit but mentally ill or disturbed, he or she may not be able to function optimally. Mental fitness can only be done if the body is functioning properly. You will help calm your own mind and relieve tension by exercising regularly and eating healthy. As you, if you can remember regarding the phrase mens sana in corpore sano, or a sound mind in a sound body, it's very important for us to have a sound body for our mind to function properly. Without our body or without having a physical fit body, definitely our mind cannot function to its total potential. So it's very important for an individual to make sure that he is healthy and physically fit for his mind to function properly. So generally, what is fitness? Physical fitness refers to the ability of your body systems to work together efficiently to allow you to be healthy and perform activities of daily living. Being efficient means doing daily activities with the least effort possible. A fit person is able to perform schoolwork, meet home responsibilities, and still have enough energy to enjoy sport and other leisure activities. A fit person can respond effectively to normal life situations such as raking leaves at home, stocking shelves at a part-time job, and marching in the band at school. A fit person can also respond to emergency situations, for example, by running to get help or aiding a friend in distress. So let's put it into an easier perspective for us to understand it, that when we talk about physical fitness or fitness itself, it is the ability of a person to do a household chores or a chores and has an ample time to do leisure activities. Meaning, after ng maghapong paggawa or pagkilos, even if you had so many works at home, at school, or in any place that you're staying, you still have time to do leisure activities or to respond in other activities. Meaning, our body can rejuvenate or can easily regenerate its energy. So that's one idea or manifestation of a physically fit person. So it refers to the system that works together, our body system that works together. So why it is important to be physically fit? Bakit nga ba? Bakit nga ba kailangan physically fit tayo? So people who are physically fit are also healthier. They're able to maintain their most optimum weight, and they're also not prone to cardiac and other health problems. In order to maintain a relaxed state of mind, a person should be physically active. A person who is fit, both physically and mentally, is strong enough to face the ups and downs of life and is not affected by drastic changes if they take place. So, a physically fit person has a stable thinking capacity, has a stable mental state, so he can think clearly, he can act clearly, he can move seamlessly or smoothly without causing any injuries or pain towards his or her own body. So that's one importance of being physically fit. In addition, it can also prevent future diseases or health problems such as cardiac health problems or hypertension, even diabetes, or earlier. Why it is important to be physically fit? First, because a healthy person or physically fit person is tend to be healthier, far from having heart problems or other health problems. It's very important. In addition, physically fit person has also the capacity to maintain a relaxed state of mind. He has a capacity to think properly, move seamlessly without causing pain or injury towards his or her own body. Why? Because a physically fit person has the ability to think clearly, okay, and to move. So there are actually different aspects of fitness. One, we have physical, emotional, mental, and social. In connection with this aspect of fitness, we also have the so-called the dimensions of wellness. Okay, it's relative to when we talk about fitness, it's relative to wellness. Okay, so there are what we call the 8 dimensions of wellness. However, in this discussion, we'll be tackling only 7 dimensions of wellness. We have physical wellness, emotional wellness, mental wellness, social wellness, environmental wellness, occupational wellness, and spiritual wellness. So when we are talking about physical wellness, it means good physical fitness and confidence in your personal ability to take care of health problems. A manifestation or things to consider for us to have physical wellness is first to have an exercise, to have daily exercise. In the force, it's very important to get adequate rest. These are common problems that we have right now, especially in online classes, wherein most of the students do protest or have these rants in social media wherein, oh, prelim exam na, stop lang, wala pa ako natututunan. Or there are so many other health problems that's arising. But the question is, how long do you use your phones, your laptop, okay? Now, for example, if your online class start at 7 o'clock, it will generally end at 12 o'clock and you still have time to rest and to take lunch, and then it will resume at 1 o'clock, and then later on will end at 5 o'clock. Now, the question is, what do you do after 5 o'clock? Do you still use your phone? Do you still engage into computer? So generally, for us to be physically healthy or to have physical wellness, we have to take breaks in between our classes for us to, of course, maintain our healthy life. That's one. We have to, of course, use seat belts, helmets, and other protective equipment. Learn to recognize early sign of illness. Eat a variety of healthy foods. Control your meal portions. Stop smoking and protect yourself against secondhand smoke. It will really affect your health condition if you do smoke. And then, of course, use alcohol in moderation, if at all. So these are generally idea, but most of you are actually not use alcohol in moderation. So, okay, use alcohol in moderation. So these are generally guidelines on how we can make sure that we are having physical wellness. So especially would like to reiterate on smoking, wherein even the e-cigarette or the vape, okay, it's not healthy at all, okay. There are so many researches and studies regarding the effect of vaping. So next we have emotional wellness. Being emotionally well is typically defined as possessing the ability to feel and express human emotions such as happiness, sadness, and anger. It's normal for us to have this kind of feeling, and it is part of emotional wellness. What are the things that we need to do and to consider for us to develop our emotional wellness? First, tune into your thoughts and feelings. There are instances we have to accept that we are feeling this, that the feeling is present. Okay? So, halimbawa, if you're angry, kung galit ka, you acknowledge that you're angry. Why? Because this disregarding and not accepting this emotion can possibly turn into a bigger mental problems, okay, later on. So another, cultivate an optimistic attitude, seek and provide support. If you are feeling down and you're sad, or you're being stressed, you're stressed, you have anxiety, or you're feeling depressed, then generally we need someone to help us. We need to accept that this emotion, this feeling, or this state of well-being are present. We have to consider that, we have to acknowledge it for us to be able to develop our mental wellness or our emotional wellness. Practice stress management techniques like proper breathing. If you are stressed, you can breathe, like inhale through your mouth, exhale through your nose, slowly, repetitively, until you calm down. There are so many other stress management, like for example, looking at green things or thinking positively, tuning into calming music, and other stress management activity. And of course, we have to accept and forgive ourselves. Okay? Next, we have our intellectual. Our minds need to be continually inspired and exercised just as our bodies do. People who possess a high level of intellectual wellness have an our mind needs to be continually our minds need to be continually inspired and exercised just as our bodies do. People who possess a high level of intellectual wellness have an active mind and continue to learn. Like for example, you have to take a course workshop, think other things, learn or perfect a foreign language. You can also seek out people who challenge you intellectually. You can go for intellectual debate or an intellectual discussion. You read, not just Wattpad. You read books, you read researches, you read relevant informations that you think can help you in your future life. And of course, learn to appreciate art. It's very important to, learn appreciating art, because it will not just develop your mental state, it will also develop your emotional state. Sometimes looking into art pieces can provide relaxing aura. And of course, we have social wellness. Social wellness refers to our ability to interact successfully in our global community and to live up to the expectations and demands of our personal roles. This means learning good communication skills, developing intimacy with others, and creating a support network of friends and family members. This social wellness can also help us avoid having mental health problem. In addition, improving your social wellness will also improve your social relationship with other people. Especially it starts with your family and then towards your neighbor or other members of the community. So what are the things that we need to do? First, we have to cultivate healthy relationships. We have to cultivate our healthy relationships to ourselves, to our friends, family, and neighbors. We have to get involved. Okay. One of my favorite line uh, in Dante Alighieri's Inferno is that he said that those people who remain neutral in time of chaos has a big reservation in hell. So meaning we have to get involved, okay? There are instances in life wherein we need to butt in, but not all the time. But generally, we need to get involved. We need to be active. Contribute to your community, share what you have, share the talents and skills that you have. Then communicate your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. It's very important for you to communicate your emotions. Why? Because neglecting it and keeping it to yourself, again, will develop other mental problems, or not just mental problems, but health problems. So we have, of course, environmental. Environmental wellness is an awareness of the unstable state of the earth and the effects of your daily habits on the physical environment. Remember that we have a symbiotic relationship with each other. Okay, it consists of maintaining a way of life that maximizes harmony with the earth and minimize harm to. It consists of maintaining a way of life that maximizes harmony with the earth and minimize the harm to the environment. It also includes being involved in socially responsible activities to protect the environment. What are the things we need to do, or what are the things that we have to consider to improve our environmental wellness? First, stop your junk mail. Conserve water and other resources in as much as possible. Minimize chemical use. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. And renew your relationship with the earth. Recently, the Congress passed a law requiring the graduates and the family to plant trees. You know, it's very important for us to plant more trees to save our environment, to save our Mother Earth, and for the next future to have something to treasure and to cherish. Of course, we also have occupational wellness for those who are working or doing some chores. It involves preparing and making use of your gifts, skills, and talents in order to gain purpose. The development of occupational wellness involves preparing and making use of your gifts, skills, and talents in order in occupational or vocational wellness involves preparing and making use of your gifts, skills, and talents in order to gain purpose, happiness, and enrichment in your life. The development of occupational satisfaction and wellness is related to your attitude about your work. We have to explore a variety of career options and engage ourselves into different activities, create a vision for your future, choose a career that suits your personality, interests, and talents. This is very important, especially when you choose your course. For example, most of you have chosen Bachelor of Science Information Technology, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Secondary Education, or Bachelor of Elementary Education. Some choose BSBA, BSHM, and other courses. These courses were generally you should have generally, you should have choose these courses because your interests and personality suits it. And then, of course, be open to change and be open to learn new skills. As Heraclitus said, change is the only constant thing in the world. Spiritual wellness involves possessing a set of guiding beliefs, principles, or values that help give direction to one's life. It encompasses a high level of faith, hope, and commitment to our individual beliefs that provide a sense of meaning and purpose. There are things to do. One, explore your spiritual core, spend time alone, meditate regularly, be inquisitive and curious, be fully present in everything you do, listen with your heart, and live by your principles. Allow yourself and those around you the freedom to be who they are. Let's not neglect and let us not force them to do things that they don't want to do, nor to act different from what or from who they really are. So we have to see opportunities for growth in the challenges of life, or in we have to see opportunities growth. We have to see opportunities for growth in the challenges life brings you. So there are different levels of physical activity there are different levels of activity that affects our wellness being. It affects our physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual aspect. So, percentage of adults currently engaging in activity. As you can see that there are four major levels. We have, or different types of physical activity. We have moderate, vigorous physical activity, strengthening exercises, stretching exercises. So moderate physical activity for 30 or more minutes on 5 or more days per week, while vigorous physical activity for 20 or more minutes on 3 or more days per week. So physical activity on a continuum, any body movement carried out by skeletal muscles and requiring energy. So this is so physical activity on a continuum. Um, when we talk about physical activity in layman's term, it's any body movement carried out by the skeletal matter. When we talk about physical activity, it means any body movement carried out by the skeleton. When it talks about physical activity, we're referring to any body movement carried out by the skeletal muscles and requiring energy. While exercise is a planned, structured, repetitive movement of the body designed to improve or maintain physical fitness. While physical fitness is a set of physical attributes that allow your body to respond or adapt to the demands and stress of physical effort. So when we talk about physical fitness, there are two major components. Okay, it's divided into 5 health-related and 6 skill-related components. So under health-related, we have under health-related fitness, we have cardiorespiratory fitness, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. Under skill-related, we have agility, balance, power, speed, coordination, and reaction time. So, what does it mean when we say cardiorespiratory fitness? Cardiorespiratory fitness is the ability of the circulatory system, which consists of the heart and the blood vessel, to supply oxygen to working muscles during exercise. Examples of cardiorespiratory fitness activity. It includes walking, swimming, cycling, running, rowing, and cross-country skiing. Muscular strength refers to the maximum amount of force a muscle can produce in a single contraction. Example of muscular strength exercises include bench press, bent over row, deadlift, squat, lunge, bicep curl, and tricep dip. For muscular endurance, it refers to the ability of a muscle to continue contractions for an extended period of time without fatigue. Examples of muscular endurance exercise include push-up, a maximum repetitions a person can do, sit-up, maximum repetition a person can do. We have pull-up, plank hold for the maximum time, and walking lunges. We also have flexibility. Flexibility refers to the ability to move a body part through a full range of motion at the joint. Okay na ba? Flexibility refers to the ability to move a body part through a full range of motion at the joint. Examples of flexibility exercises include static stretches, holding a stretch in one position for a duration of time. For example, this one. Dynamic stretches, quickly moving muscles and joints through a full range of motion. So this is also static stretches. But when we do forward bending, okay, it can be dynamic stretches. PNF stretches, or shortening contractions of the opposing muscle to place the target muscle in stretch. For example, we would like to stretch our tricep. So we do this. For example, we would like to do a tricep. We would like to do a tricep stretch. So we can have this one, stretching the tricep, while the opposing bicep do the same. So another part is another part is a body composition. It refers to the ratio of body fat to lean body mass, including bone, muscle, connective tissue, and water. One way to check our body composition is what we call the BMI, or body mass index. Since earlier the semester, I required you to fill out the Parky form and at the same time to know your height and weight, we will now be computing later on your BMI to identify whether you are obese, overweight, normal, or undernourished. So example of ways to improve body composition include cardiorespiratory exercise, for example, walking, cycling, and running, muscular strength exercises like bench press, deadlift, squat, bicep curls, muscular endurance exercises like push-up, pull-ups, and sit-ups. We'll be doing some of this activity, and then later on, part of your physical fitness test, you will also be doing some planking, some push-up, some agility tests, and other components. So now let's go to the skill-related components. So we have first agility. Agility is the ability of the body to change direction quickly and effectively while under control. It requires the integration of isolated movement skills using a combination of balance, coordination, speed, reflexes, strength, and endurance. What are the examples of activities that require agility? Are football, soccer, tennis, volleyball, basketball, and some most competitive sports. Another very good example of agility are if you have experience playing, okay, pag nakapaglaro na kayo sa kanto o kaya sa kalsada, yung harangang taga, tayaan. These are manifestation of activities that, or these are activities for agility. Okay? For example, halimbawa, ito madalas yung ginagawa to eh. Yung tipong pag nagagalit si nanay, di ba? Yung tinatakbuhan nyo si nanay, aside from speed, okay, iniiwasan nyo yung pamalo na makapalo sa inyo. Then we have balance. Balance is the ability to maintain an upright posture while in a stationary position or while moving. So there are different examples of activities that challenge balance include yoga, pilates, gymnastic, single leg exercises, possible exercises, and stability ball exercises. We also have power. Power is the ability to do strength work at an explosive pace. It is defined as the amount of work performed per unit of time. Example of activities that require power includes Olympic lifts, like clean and jerk snatch, plyometrics or box jumps, depth jumps, clap push-ups. We also have baseball, boxing, golf, volleyball, track and field. So I have here a video of example of power or an exercise or activity that shows power. So that's one example of power. There are so many other examples of power that will later on be introduced or demonstrated to you. So we now have the speed. Speed is the ability to move quickly from one point to another. So examples of activities that require speed include sprinting, 100, 200, or 400-meter sprint, speed skating, swimming, and Nordic skiing. We also have the coordination. Coordination is the integration of hand and or foot movements with the input of the senses. For example, what we see, hear, and feel. Example of activities that require coordination include CrossFit, group fitness classes like Zumba, body pump, body attack, boot camp, baseball, basketball, golf, jumping rope, martial arts, skiing, and snowboarding. In general term, when we talk about coordination, it's the ability to use one or more, more than one body senses. Like for example, when someone throw a ball to you, you use your ability of sight and ability of touch, okay, to catch it, diba? And then muscle control, so muscle coordination, the mind and the body, and you seeing. Other things is, of course, you dance, okay? The ability to hear and the ability to move. So these are generally the idea of coordination. Then we also have reaction time. Reaction time is the amount of time it takes to react to stimulus, starting gun, moving object, movement of an opponent. So examples of these require a fast reaction time include racket sports or like tennis, squash, racquetball, badminton. It requires quick reaction time. As you see the ball landing, you have to move and strike. Baseball and cricket, sprinting, martial arts, and some most competitive individual and team sports. For example, in basketball, how fast is your reaction time when your playmate or your teammate pass the ball to you? Okay, so how fast you can catch it. Okay, why? Because if you have a slow reaction time, then definitely the ball will strike your face. Or the ball will hit your face. So what are the different type of physical activity? We have aerobic, strength or anaerobic, balance, and flexibility. So, so So when we talk about aerobic activities, these are type of activities that requires a lot of oxygen, or it is a type of activity that though requires it is a type of activity that requires oxygen or more oxygen. As you move forward or as you do the activity, you need oxygen to maintain your body moving. While in anaerobic activity or strength activities, though it still need oxygen. However, it's not the same with aerobic activities. Um, when we use dumbbells or when we hold barbells, we still need to breathe. But unlike in dancing, we don't need to breathe like that in aerobic activities. Why? Because it's more on strength activities. Of course, in balance, we have mentioned earlier different type of balance activity like yoga. Okay. We also have flexibility, moving your joints towards the maximum point it can reach. Then, of course, we have the physical activity pyramid. So these are the things that we have to remember for us to have. These are the things that we have to remember for us to improve our physical fitness. So at the top of the pyramid, that is sedentary activities that we should do infrequently, meaning in as much as possible, we should not do it. Okay? Or um, like watching television, surfing the internet, talking on the telephone. So we also have the strength training, okay, that can be done 2 or 3 days per week. Includes all my major muscle groups like bicep curls, push up, abdominal curls, bench press, and calf raises. For flexibility training, 2 or more days per week, all major joints, calf stretch, lunge, step stretch, hurdle stretch. Cardiorespiratory endurance exercise to 3 to 5 days per week, includes 20 to 60 minutes, includes walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, aerobic dancing, inline skating, and other activities. And then, of course, we have the moderate intense physical activity. Most days, preferably every day, we do this about 30 minutes per day, or 60 to 90 minutes per day for weight loss or prevention of weight regain following weight loss, like walking to the store or bank, washing windows or your car, and other moderate intense physical activities. So what are the benefits of different types of program? For lifestyle physical activity, this is a moderate physical activity, an amount of activity that uses about 150 calories per day. What are the different activities like working to and from work 15 minutes each way, then cycling to, yard work, and dancing. So what are the benefits in health and fitness? It will give better blood cholesterol levels, reduce body fat, better control of blood pressure, improve metabolic health, and enhance glucose metabolism. So we also have moderate exercise program, cardiorespiratory endurance exercise. It includes jogging and weight training. So of course, it can benefit us for lifestyle physical activity plus improve physical fitness. Includes our cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular strength and endurance, and flexibility. And of course, the vigorous exercise program. We have running for 45 minutes, 3 days per week, interval running or weight training or stretching exercise. Aside from all benefits of lifestyle physical activity, and a moderate exercise program with greater increase in fitness and somewhat greater reductions of chronic diseases risk. Participating in a vigorous exercise program may increase risk of injury and overtraining. So we have to make sure that we don't overdo everything. Okay. Um, in physical training, so that's all for now. I'll see you again on module 3 or the next activity that we'll be doing in our PE class. Thank you.